All right. So we're looking at Arinze's assignment. So for the people that asked, that's who asked again? I'm actually not very comfortable with this thing this way. For I think Akindele and OBS Studio. Is it for recording, Isaac?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay. I haven't tried it, but I think Active Presenter is cool too. I've been using it. Team Viewer, Team Viewer, Team Viewer, Team Viewer. I've used Team Viewer for collaboration. I never knew they can use it for recording too. Right. But I think we'll have something that works. So, oh, YouTube consumes so much data. So, should we move on with this or do we look for other options?
I think for today, let's move on with this one. Subsequently, we can now look out for that.
All right, fine. So, let's see. We also monitor how the data usage is. And I think we should just check it out and see how it is. Then we can judge if we'll try something else. But it's video, so obviously, we're talking of like 2 hours video. Obviously, it's going to have so much consume data. All right, so let's continue. We're looking at Arinze's assignment, and so Arinze, you asked a question. You asked a question around this. I think you said you didn't understand how this works.
I've taken time to look through the code. I understand it now.
Okay.
Like setting the index to be 0, and also it should be less than the key length.
Okay.
Then should be adding, them one after the other, like appending them.
All right. So this guy just helps us pick out these keys only as an array. So once you pick it out, you can now use it to pick out the values. Look through it and pick out the values. All right, so that's fine. That's for the second assignment. So far, Arinze has got 2/3. Let's look at the third guy. Wow. Now I'm seeing function. We've not talked about function. And this Arinze is already talking about function. Okay. So, but you guys shouldn't mind him though. If you don't understand this, it's fine. Don't mind him. He's one of the badass guys we have. So he's already doing function. So we'll have grade points. A is 5, B is 4, C3, D2, and E1, alright? So we'll have the total credits to be 0, total grade points to be 0. Course grade, where is this course grade coming from? Where is it coming from, Arinze?
The course grade.
Yes, like where is it coming from? Is it like when you call it to provide a course grade?
The course grade, I think, is under the function.
Like, okay, hold on. I could actually just control click this guy. And I'm asking, don't mind me. So this is it here. No, but where do you call this function? Maybe you don't understand what I'm asking.
No, see,
So you named it great. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it. This is it here.
Returned the argument.
Yeah, don't mind me. I understand now. So you pass in the credit units and the grade they got, the credit unit and the grade they got for each of the courses, right? So let's say you could also say course. Let's say you can say course maths. Just that all of them are not maths, right? So you can change this to English. Can change this to biology. Can change this to chemistry. Can change this to. You understand what I'm doing, Arinze? Can change this to
Very well, sir.
geography. This just was trying to be extra. So it makes more. So maths is 3 credit units, and the person got A. Alright, so I think this object is more explanatory now. And then so before I continue, let's agree on one thing. How do you calculate the GPA, someone's GPA for a semester? Yeah? Yeah, reason. I'm listening. Yeah?
Okay. First of all, you need to work with the grade point. So if someone should score, let's say 70, that's an A,
Hope you guys are paying
which is
attention so that
5.0.
if you don't agree with his what he's saying, you can um, give us your own suggestion. Continue, Ariza, don't mind me. Sorry I interrupted you.
Okay, so for example, if you score 70 and above, that's a 5.0.
Yeah.
Then also you need to consider the credit unit.
Yeah.
So let's assume it's a 3 unit course. So you are going to multiply your grade point by the credit unit.
All
So
right.
that's how you do each of them. For example, you scored B, let's say 60 something, 4.0. If the credit unit is 2, then multiply by 2. So what we are concerned with is the grade point and credit unit. When you are done multiplying, you sum them up. Then you are going to sum up all the credit units.
Okay.
All the credit units, yeah, for each of the courses, sum them up. So you are dividing the total grade points. That's when you multiplied and summed up by the total credit unit. So that will give you the GPA.
So do we all agree with that? Do we all agree with that formula Ariza gave us? Say again, sorry. My volume was crazy on the high side. Hello? Who was talking?
He's right. He's correct about it.
Oh, okay. So we agree with Ariza. So let's look at how he implemented it. I think he's correct too. So he has a function. Forget that function. Forget it. In fact, let me take it out of the function. Ariza, we are taking this out of the function. What you did is the best way to do it is correct, but some people think loops are rocket science. So not let's not complicate things for them anymore. Alright? So let's take it a step at a time. Maybe by the time we have a class today and tomorrow, they will know that loop is not rocket science. So we're taking this out of the function, and then we need to take this guy upstairs. Okay, with the results. Okay, console log results. So let's take this two, and then I could actually comment everything out. Where did that function start? So yeah, here, and then we're not returning this guy. This is the GPA. We're not returning it. So this guy is supposed to return. So instead of returning it, we'll assign it to results. So assign it to results. Somehow I feel my system is slowing down. I hope it's not the active presenter. And then grades. So instead of course grade, we call it grades because that's what we called it here. So take this guy up. Guys, don't mind me if you don't understand what I'm doing. Probably only me and Arinze will understand what I'm doing because I'm scattering his code. So it's him that wrote it, he might understand because he's the one that wrote it. If you don't understand, it doesn't mean you don't know JavaScript. It only means you are not the one that wrote the code. Even me, I'm scattering it at a point, I'm confused. But it's fine to be confused as long as it's programming. Let me tell you guys one thing, right? Software development is one place where mistakes are classy. Like it's classy to make mistakes. We give it a special name, we call it bugs. You do something, you're like, they tell you this thing is not working. You say, yeah, that's a bug, I'll fix it. You make it sound classy. What it means is what you did didn't work. But then, because bugs are classy in software development, nobody gets punished for it, really. So Grace will replace this guy. Alright? And then GPA, blah blah blah, cause result GPA dot fix 2, and then blah 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 blah. So this is fine, this works without a function. Yeah. So someone should do something for us, right? Or probably will Blessing. So help us look at this thing, calculate it outside the system. Okay?
You say what, sir?
Calculate this thing outside the system and tell us what will be this person's GPA with this grade.
Okay.
Using this information. So that we'll check if Arinze's logic is working fine. If it's working fine, then we can go through it. We are waiting for you. So possibly this might be all we do today, but it's fine. I think we've been able to solve one major issue that's been bothering us.
I have 4.26 here.
4.26, okay? You're sure 4.26 is correct, right?
4.26.
Final answer.
Yeah.
If did somebody else still check? Let's assume she's correct. We'll just hope she's correct. So this will be Arinze's moment of truth. Arinze, let's check out your system. 4 point what?
He's correct. 4.2666. Yeah, he approximates
so he's
to
approximating.
4.7.
Wow. So Arinze, how do they clap on Google Meet? I need to clap for him. Is there a way to clap for him? Oh, okay, yeah, we raise hand for him, right? I raise hand for you too. So that was I actually wasn't expecting someone to get that. Not because it's so difficult, but because I didn't really do something around it. But I think this guy has been doing JavaScript behind our backs. Because Dude was doing function. Who has done function in this class before? Nobody. And he was doing function. So I had to remove the function. Left him with his function before he confused us. So let's go through his code. If you didn't understand the steps of calculating, this guy can't go away. I don't know why. If you didn't understand the steps of calculating the GPA, indicate so that we are clear on that before we go through the code. So I can explain. So I assume everybody understood. I didn't, okay? I said he didn't. Alright, so I will try to explain. So to calculate your GPA, you already have your the weight of all your scores. A is 5, B is 4, C is 3, D is 2, E is 1. I think F is 0. He omitted that. He thought nobody will have F. I mean, somebody used to have F. 0. Let's even put 0.0.
E/F is 1.0.
F is 0.
I saw online 1.0, E and F.
How is F 1.0? I don't think F is 1.0. Because if F is 1.0, that means if you got F, you use 1, that means, and the credit unit is 3, that means 3 will be added to your stuff, your total grade points. That's not possible.
Yeah, it's true.
If you get F, 0 should be added to you, not 3. So F is 0. So add F to it. F is 0. Nobody have F here, so it's fine.
F is 0.
Yeah. So this is the student's grade. The grade points for the structure we are using. Alright? Where A is 5 down to F. And then this is student's score for this particular subject in a semester. So these guys are like constants. This is like the data we want to work on. This is the data we want to work on. And this is like the format we want to use. Now, according to what we all agreed on, which I think is correct, to calculate your GPA, you take the credit units of that particular course and multiply it with the person's grade points. So if the person got A, their grade point is 5. So you do 3 times 5. So when you multiply all of this, you add up all the results you get. That's the total grade points you got from grade point times credit units. You add it up and then divide it by the total credit units. That's how you get the person's GPA. Does that make sense? Isaac, does it make sense? I hope you were listening. Alright, fine. Said it made sense. So that is what Arinze is trying to achieve. So he has a variable that's going to be keeping track of total credits, which is all of these guys. Sorry, not that. These guys. These guys. So he has a variable that's going to be keeping track of them. And then he has one that's going to be keeping track of the calculations when he does the multiplication. That's brilliant. You see this for each loop here. I mentioned it in our last class. That is also a type of loop in JavaScript. It's part of the things I mentioned. So because Arinze is a badass, he's always using the advanced ones. I like that though. So I might adjust something, not because what he did is wrong, but because somehow I like using fat arrows or what do they call it again? Arrow functions. So I'm gonna do this instead. And then I can. So I reason this is still the same thing. The only difference is you do it shorter. I don't have to use that function keyword. Alright. What you did worked fine, absolutely. I'm just looking for a shorter way of doing it. Then he has a credit unit which is cost.credit unit. So he's looping through the person's grade. For each of the grade, he picks out the credit units. He picks out the person's score. Alright? Score grade, or whatever I want to call it. Score grade. Yeah, let me call it score grade. Sorry. So I'm gonna do this score grade. Alright. So he's picking out the person's score grade here and attaching it to grade. And then he says he has a variable called grade points that picks out. All right. So he has a variable called. So he's using this score grade now. What the person scored, whether it's called A, whether it's called B, whether it's called C, as a key. I actually like the way he did it. If I was the one, I would do it with an if statement, which will make it longer. So this is super short, and I like that. So he's going to pick out whatever you scored from this object using the key, which is super smart, right? So he has the key here. He picked out the key, which is what you scored, and then he wants to pick out the value of what you scored, which is the grade point he's declaring here. And then he said grade point is whatever this key maps to this object here. A certain value of grade point, fine. And then total credits, he adds the credit units that he picked out from this guy, because we want to keep track of all the credit units. And then the total grade points, the grade points, which is whatever is called here, excuse me, times the credit unit for this particular course. Then he's using plus equals so that he keep adding them up. So for every loop, this guy is getting a value. For every loop, this guy is getting a value. For every loop, this guy is getting a value until he's done with all the loops. And then you have the total grade points all calculated. The credit units all summed up. And then to get the GPA, we said you divide the total grade points with the total credits, which is what he's doing here, getting the GPA, and then he's fixing it to two decimal places. Super smart. I love his method. Straightforward, very simple. And then he's console logging it and then displaying. So I think Arize got 3/3. That's I'm impressed, guys. I'm really impressed. So let me. So who doesn't understand what I explained? Do we all understand? Is there anybody that needs an explanation on this? All things being equal. Nobody's talking. Hopefully I'm not the only one here. Alright. So I assume we all understand. So Isaac said he needs an explanation. So where do you need an explanation? Or where do you need the listener? What's your question?
Sorry, I can't understand. Like the part you guys made after the calculation of the GP.
Right? Yeah, line. Which line is that? From which line to which line? Don't you understand? So I know.
From the grade dot.
Can you use Can you use this line here to tell us? This line. From which line here?
36.
36. So here, all right. So from here to here, or from here down?
Yeah, from there down.
So what this guy is doing is what we call a loop. Do you know what loops are?
Yeah.
All right. So this guy is looping through this array. is going through all of this array one after the other and picking them out. He's giving them this label, assigning it to this variable called course. Alright? And he's saying for each of these guys, pick out the credit unit. Course, which is the variable is giving them, does credit unit, which is this guy. I'm picking out the credit unit. Pick out the score grade. Grade equals course dot score grade. I'm picking out the score grade. How do I calculate the grade point? I said we agreed that it's the credit unit times score grade. Alright? The value of the score grade. Now, for him to pick out the grade point, the point that the score grade has, he needs to check what you have and map it to what is here. Right? Now, on the fly, we don't know what this guy have. Alright? So let me do something that you might understand easier. Because just like I mentioned, this Arize guy is always doing some badass moves. So I'm sure maybe that's why it's becoming a bit complicated here. So see what you're going to do if you didn't want to do this thing he did. You say let's grade points. Alright? And then you say not for. If grade is equals, in that case we're not using this object anymore. If grade is equals A, if grade is equals A, then grade points is equals 5. Do you understand this line 42? Isaac, do you understand line 42? Alright, I'll go again. We are saying if grade, which is this person's grade from here, is A, normally A is supposed to be 5 points. So let this grade point be 5. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, this is a longer way of doing it and an easier way of a way to make it easier for everybody to understand. Now, if you do this, you're not going to say else. I'll repeat this again. But that was what Arinze avoided. Else, if grade is equals B, we say B is what? 4. We repeat this. Else, if grade is equals C, if you don't understand anything, ask questions. Else, if grade is equals D, D is 2, right? Else, if grade is equals E, E is 1. Excuse me. You can just do else 0. Alright? I'll just say else this guy is equals 0. So this long thing we did now is what Arinze did with this line, which is why I think is super smart. This big thing we did, we just did it with this few lines. So I hope you understand this, Arinze. Sorry, not Arinze, Isaac.
Yeah.
Exactly. So at this point now, you've got the person's point. So all you need to now get the total, to add to your accumulation of total grade points is to multiply their grade points with the credit unit, is it not? That's what we agreed. Credit unit times grade points, right? Isaac, are you with me?
Yes, yes,
Right.
yes.
So that is what he's doing here. Normally, you want to accumulate all the credit units. So you're doing total credit units plus equal. So this plus equal is like total credit unit plus whatever. So this is just like saying this. Another way of saying this. Do you understand this? Total credit unit equals whatever total credit unit plus credit unit. So you're adding credit unit to whatever is already in total credit unit. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what this badass guy is shortening to this thing. Don't mind him. It's the same thing. Plus equals is the same thing. If you want to just be incrementing something with something, but you don't want to like do this equals this equals this, you can do plus equals, you can do minus equals, you can do times equals, you can do divide equals. Alright? So that's what shortening to this. Then total grade points plus equals. So the grade point is now the grade point times the credit unit. That multiplication we need to do. He's also accumulating it. So at this point, we've got all our guys for this particular course. But because it's a loop, it will go over again and do it for all of them. So by the point we exit this loop, it has done it for the 5 of them. And because we are accumulating all of these results, we are now doing the total credit points, which is accumulation of all of these grade points over the total credit we accumulated here. That will give us the GPA. Does it make sense, Isaiah? I don't know why I keep calling you Isaiah. Does it make sense, Isaac?
Right, right.
Alright. Now, this guy, you just fix it to 2 points, 2 decimal places. It's fine if you don't know what this guy is. I told you guys, you need to go and check out number methods. Alright? So, but just know that after today's class, I'm not going to be going over anything I've done because we're already recording. If you don't understand the recording, that's your cross to carry. Nobody's going to help you carry it. So I'll take the stress and probably go over JavaScript again by tomorrow. I'll take that stress. I'm obviously not enjoying it, but I'll do it just so we'll have a complete stuff. All right. So that's the result, and then he's console logging result and appending it to the page, like here. So is this that last line that's appending it here? Does anybody have any question so far? We all good, right? Are we still here?
Yeah, still here.
All right. So I believe that was explanatory, and it was really a smart one. Arinze did. So who else have I not looked at their own? If you know you did it, probably you sent it to me. I've not looked at it. Please indicate. Some people sent it to my WhatsApp. So if they are not here, there's no point reviewing it when they're not here. That's what I want to know. If you are here, you sent to my WhatsApp, then indicate so I'll review it. But if the person is not here, I'll probably just look at it and then talk to them directly. That's if I have the chance to. But I think we'll just do it together in class. I just want everybody to see it, see how the different implementations and decorations I will give the person and stuff. So the person is not in class. I don't think that person is my student. So if nobody is accepted, that means all the people that sent it are not here. So that's fine. We'll move on. We only have Arinze there. Only Arinze that sent his to me, and he's here. So that's fine. We have how many minutes remaining? I really just wanted to do a quick review of JavaScript again and see where we get to. We'll continue from tomorrow, and that'll be it. So I'll do a recap of some of the things we talked about. Let me close this guy. And then okay, so I think I'll close this guy. This guy we used. get a handbook by using beginners and such, right? See that guy. That's the guy I'm looking for. So blah blah blah. This PDF I'm looking for. I was going to use it again today, so I didn't. Sorry guys, going through all of this. Yeah, this is the guy I'm looking for. So I was opening. So I don't know if it's active presenter. My system just became slow all of a sudden. I think it's the active presenter. So we talked about the importance of JavaScript. We talked about how JavaScript is what brings logic, interactiveness to your website. Every other thing we'll be doing is just markups, it's just designs, it's just basically, yeah, they are coding really, but they're not programming. You don't program things to do things. You see, I don't know if you notice the difference between what Arize did and all we've been doing with HTML, CSS. This one was more logical. There's like logic, there's life, like it's more intelligent. The other ones were just you put something, you see it. But this one is intelligent per se. So that's what brings the life into your application. Every other thing is just markup. Alright. So we talked about how that brings life to your application, and then we started looking at how to declare variables in JavaScript. So variables are one of the most important things. So if you went in the last class, you can go through this book. I posted it on the group. I'm sure maybe some of you weren't paying attention because I noticed some people don't pay attention to things they posted on the group, so they keep coming back to ask questions again. So I posted it. You can download it, go through it. It's straight to the point. It's summarized, so it's not lengthy. Then your second one is more explanatory. You can also go through that. So we're talking about variables in JavaScript. I would say variables are like if you did mathematics, whatever variables are in mathematics, that's what they are in JavaScript. Alright? So we use variables to hold. Hold on, this is not the. Man, my system is annoyingly slow. I don't even know why. We use variables to hold values while computing them. Alright, so you kind of like tell the system, your computer, create a memory space, put so and so in it. Anytime I make reference to the name I gave that thing, on the desktop. Anytime I make reference to the name, bring out whatever I asked you to save there and give it to me. That's the guy I need. So that's what basically variables does for us. If you notice when he was doing his calculation, he created a variable called like the one for the year of birth, calculating age. He created a variable called current year and another one called year of birth. And then he was making reference to them inside his logic without having to repeat those year of birth and whatever. So those are what we use variables for. They are actually one of the most important things in your in JavaScript. Really. So we said in JavaScript we declare variables using those two keywords, let and const. Alright? So I'll create another guy here. New file. Recap.js. And then there's a place where displaying. I'll just move that part. How we've been displaying. Alright, so I'll take this down. Paste it here. There it is. I need to get the value of hello div. Yeah, so this is where I picked the value of hello div. And then I put this guy here. And yeah, I think that's all we need. So let's close all of these guys. Let's close all of these guys. Let's close this too. So I'll be stopping by 8 at the dots. As much as we can do today, tomorrow we'll complete it and then we'll go on. But please, let us not be dragging us behind again. I hate doing what I'm doing right now. Let us not be dragging us behind. As much as possible. I believe if you take it as a priority, really, you wouldn't miss it for anything. And if you miss it, you put in so much effort to be up to speed before the next class, not dragging everybody behind. That's not a very nice thing to do, honestly. So instead of loading index.js, I'm going to load recap.js. Alright? So I'm loading recap.js and hopefully we're going to be fine. So let me go live. Yeah, my name is blah blah blah. Yeah, we can keep this. This is what this active editor is doing on my again. I need to find a solution to it. Like my sim is lagging. I don't know if it's active present or something else. It's becoming difficult to use. I'll try to reduce this. I'll try to make this. Just go to recap.js. We already have this. My name is. We are seeing here. It's what we have here. My name is. So we want to be adding things to it. So let me close this guy. And then we can reduce this guy. And reduce this man. So we are going to create a variable called name. Okay. I'm going to use const name equals arrange, right? So let me put this extra space here, and then I say whatever is inside here. Console log name. We don't even need this console log. So whatever is inside this hello div plus equals. Remember what I told you happens to plus equals? So add name to it. Don't replace, add name to it. So if I save it, I have my name is Arinze. If I should modify this, let's say Arinze, I think it's easy one, right? Yeah. I save, I have my name is Arinze easy one. So we created a variable called name, and we assign Arinze easy one to it. We are adding it to this is our HTML guy. We are appending it to it. We are saying, if you don't understand it, it's fine. We've not got here, so it's just something like this. So we see what we're doing, right? Let me remove this in this system. Yes. So we still have a code that is appending whatever result we have to our screen. Remember I said we created a variable called name. We are assigning value to it and we are appending it whatever we have already to complete this statement. Now, I also said we can use the let keyword also to assign a variable. So this works also. So you can use let, you can use const, you can also use var. But I advise not to use this guy. It's an old guy. It has some glitches, some, I think they call it quirks or something that doesn't work well. So please stick to either of these two, let or const. Now, where do you use const? Where do you use let? Always use const, except when we are going to reassign value. What do I mean? Let's say for some reason we want to reassign value to name. Name is no longer Arinze. Name is now Isaac. Sorry, this is supposed to be inside. But name is now Isaac Obonna. If I save, I'm going to get Isaac Obonna. Why? Because I've reassigned value to this constant called name. Sorry, to this variable called name. So remember I said use const always, except when you want to reassign value. Now, if I want to reassign value and I use const, it's going to throw an error. There's an error, that's why our code is no longer working. Remember, the only thing we did was to change this let to const. If I change it to const, our code will stop working. Why? Because there's an error. How do I see my error? There's a tool in every browser called developer tool. So if I right click on my window and I go to inspect, I'm going to get access to the developer tools. So my system is always taking time to do things now. You will see the console. So that's where you see your error. What's the error? Uncut type error. Assignment to constant variable at recap.js line 4, then the fourth character. So recap.js line 4, the fourth character. 1, 2, 3, 4. What are we doing? Assignment to constant variable. So we are assigning 6. We are assigning to this constant variable another value. And because in JavaScript you cannot reassign to const, it's throwing an error. If you know you're going to reassign, then use let. Does it make sense? So number 1, always use const and let. Do not use var. At least for now. Number 2, use const except when you want to reassign value. So in this case, because we want to reassign value, we're going to use let. We're going to use let. If we save, the error goes away, and our guy is working like we wanted it to work. So that is that for variables. Now we talked about data types too. Data types. And we say data types are just the different types of data we have in JavaScript. And we said we have numbers, we have strings, we have Boolean, we have, which other one again? Number, strings, Boolean, which other one? I think that's it in JavaScript. If I remember the other one, let us see. And then we have objects, object types. So these guys have a couple of guys under it. Then we also have 2 other special kind of types. Data type in JavaScript. We have the null and undefined. Undefined. Yeah, defined. So we have these data types in JavaScript. We have the numbers. So these are what we call primitive types. Primitive types, right? Primitive types are these guys: numbers, strings, booleans, and then we'll have null and modified too, also as primitive types. And then we have object types, which are not anything that's not primitive is object type. And what did he say are numbers? Numbers are things like 1, 1.0, or 1.2, anything number, fractions, they are all numbers. String is a collection of characters, blah blah, all that is in quotes, all right? Either single quote or double quote like I'm using. I'm always using double quotes. You can use single quotes too, it works. Name is a string, boy is a string, mango is a string, 20, though is a number, but because it's a quote, is a string. Boolean are like they're like a switch. You know your light switch, right? It's an on and off something, 1 or 0 something. So if it's not true, it's false. So Boolean takes these values, it's not supposed to be quotes. So true or false. That's all a Boolean takes. Sometimes it's presented as true and yes or no, 1 or 0, on or off, but basically in JavaScript, we represent it with true or false. Then this null, guys, means nothing. You can declare a variable and say, for now, let it be null, let it be nothing. Undefined means whatever you're referencing or whatever you're looking for has not been defined. All right? Does that make sense? Any question on this so far? Any questions so far? No questions, I believe. So it's already 8, and I don't want us to be staying past 8. All right? I'd rather we spend much time than to spend longer hours. 2 hours is enough. Then the next day we can. So, which all the guys that asked us to do a recap, just have it in mind that you guys are the reason we are going back. It's fine though. It's fine. We'll forgive you guys. So that's that for today. In the absence of any questions, we'll end the class. We'll stop the class here. We'll continue tomorrow. By tomorrow, I'll do a very quick recap of all the things. And funny enough, some of the guys that asked us to do this recap are not here. I know Akindele is here. Let me check who again asked us to do this recap that's not here. I know Isaac asked us to do recap. Who again? I just hope I catch somebody that's asked us to do recap that's not here. I won't listen to that person's question in next class. I've caught Isaac already. And then Akindele, is Akindele here? Let me check.
Yes.
Alright, so Akindele is here. Who again asked us to do recap? Malumi asked us to do recap. I think she just dropped because when I switched, I saw her dropping. Yeah, it's fine, Akindele. It's fine. So Isaac is, I don't know. I'll try to find out why he dropped. Because you can't ask us to go back and then you drop off the call. That's being rude to all of us. Really. So that will be that for today. We'll continue next class, if not for anybody, because of Akindele and I think Malumi. And then I'll try to find out why Isaac drops. If it's not reason enough, I'll probably not listen to him in all the recaps we'll be doing. Because you can't just ask us to go back and then drop off. So see you guys tomorrow, 6 p.m. Thank you and God bless you. And then Arinze.
Sure, God bless you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I'll probably give you 1 or 2 things to do. I'll keep you busy. I think
Okay.
we're probably boring you, so
Thank
I'll keep you busy. Is there any other person that want me to keep them busy too? I'll throw big things at you. I'm not going to give you petty things. I'll throw big things. So if you want me to keep you busy too, indicate. So George wants, yeah, George, you want me to keep you busy too? Because I know we are boring Arinze. From what I'm seeing he's doing, we are boring him. Really. George, yeah, we're listening. You can type if you are struggling. You're mute. Your mic is mute, so we can't hear you. So either you're mute and talk or you type. So any other person that want me to keep them busy, I guess no. I hope you guys are not scared. Yeah, but I'm really going to be throwing some challenging things to Arinze. Like really, really challenging things. And I hope you're ready for me. All right, so I'll be throwing them randomly on the group. Anybody can pick it up, really. So it's not going to be part of what we're doing, just to keep those guys that are ahead of us busy. But then it doesn't mean you're not going to be joining the class. I'll be keeping notes of people that are not joining the class. If you're not joining the class, you're asking me questions on your own, because you're no longer playing now. I'm being serious. So that'll be it. Without any other question, I want to see you guys tomorrow. Same time, same station tomorrow. Thank you once again, and God bless you. Bye. Cheers, everyone.
Thank you.